All right, we are live. Welcome, DoorGrow hackers, to the DoorGrow Show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you are interested in growing your business and life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow hacker. DoorGrow hackers love the opportunities, daily variety, unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it. You think you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management businesses and their owners. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. I'm your host, property management growth hacker Jason Hall, the founder of Open Potion, Gather Kudos, Thunder Local, and of course, DoorGrow. Now let's get into the show. And today I'm hanging out with Preston Brown. Preston, welcome to the DoorGrow Show.
Thanks, Jason.
Super excited to have you here. So Preston has like 500 companies and runs a ton of businesses. So Preston, give us a little bit of background on you and kind of how you got into the whole real estate scene, and then give us a quick picture of like what sort of empire you've got going on down there in New Mexico, right?
We're in Texas, but almost.
Texas, okay.
In West Texas, where you got Mexico here, New Mexico here, and Texas here. So we do a lot of business in New Mexico, some in Mexico,
okay, cool.
and most of it in El Paso. But
all right, so in El Paso, Texas. So Preston, give us a little bit of background. How'd you get into the real estate scene?
I was selling Amway, and I had a guy tell me that his business was better than mine, and if I would take an opportunity he had, and if it worked, I needed to leave him alone with my Amway bullshit. That's what he asked me to do. And
really?
He pitched me on a home to flip. I went and did it, made a bunch of money. This is when you couldn't screw up and everybody was a genius and the market was perfect. I flipped it, made 30 grand. I'd never made that much in a year in Amway. So I dropped it and ran headstrong into home flipping. And from there, only opened 7 companies. Well, we opened 9. We've shut down a few. We have 7 operations. In 2017, we did 23 million of gross revenue. So we're not quite a big business, but I outsold Justin Bieber, which is awesome. And you know, that's what we do. We have 7 different divisions: property management, roofing, real estate brokerage, home flipping, hard money lending, title company, and home warranty insurance. And I think I got them all. And if I missed one, that's normal.
Great. So how did you come across DoorGrow, and what inspired you to become a client? Take people back to kind of what you were dealing with and where your business was when we first ran into each other.
Okay, well, I found you online, and I'm really glad I did, because there was all sorts of, we were looking for a franchise property management opportunity or something, and we had this great home flipping company. I mean, a big home flipping business does like 30, 40 transactions a year. We were doing more than 100. And so we still are by far the largest. And growth principles in home flipping are very similar to growth principles in property management. We were keeping a lot of our inventory, so we would manage it ourselves. So we opened a property management company for that. Our realtors wanted us to help their clients. So we were like, okay, why not? It makes sense. So we started helping clients, and we had this model where we were very affordable for our homes. And that kind of translated into a model where we were very affordable for these clients' homes. And then we learned about what you talk about, the cycle of suck, where they don't do repairs, we're the cheapest option, everything else. And just because your growth model works for 2 different industries doesn't mean you understand all the other dynamics in the industry. I mean, like I had no idea about the accounting. I mean, if you buy a $180,000 house for 90 grand and you put 30 grand in to repair it, you don't need to know much about accounting to know you're going to make a profit. It's simple math. When you get into property management, the reporting and everything else. And when we found you, I think maybe with 1 year before, I think we'd been embezzled. My wife's childhood best friend stole $250,000 from our customers' trust accounts.
Ouch.
Oh God, it was painful. I remember for the first time, I mean, my business had all taken off. We paid off debt. I had $250,000 in my bank account. And then this happened and I had $300 in my bank account because I had to put it all back in, and I didn't know how I was going to pay my own personal mortgage. So we it was rough, and
sadly, you're not the only property management business owner that I've heard of that happening. I mean, people get embezzled constantly in businesses. It's a dangerous thing.
We've been embezzled since, it's going to happen, but you want to get embezzled because it's going to happen for $1,000 or $2,000, and then your accounting team attacks it.
Yeah.
With a good business model, you find it as soon as it happens. A lot of times you get it back because somebody will pay that back rather than go to jail. When it gets to be the elephant in the room, you're dead. I mean, it was a lot of pain. I found you, and I remember you. I think at that time, I'm so glad you raised the prices, because I remember I think I muted you when we were on the call, and I told the gal that I was sitting with, who was running my property management company, I was like, this guy is giving us everything a franchise company would give us and more, and he's doing it. I think your seat package was $3,000 or something. I don't even know. I think it was, if I remember correctly. And I was like,
it was less.
It was crazy. It was, I mean, there was so much value in this thing, and I was like, don't tell him that this is the best thing I've ever seen in the property management world until after we're a customer and we've proven that it's real. Like, I didn't even think it was real. And then we got in and we did it. We had 600 units in our property management division at that point. Every month we were making $5,000 or losing 10. I mean, it was a total cycle of suck. I mean, lots of work, lots of people. I think at the one point in time we had like 15 staff members, falling over each other. We implemented your systems. I fired 200 owners within, I didn't do it as fast as you told me to do it, just because I was scared, but it took me about a year, and we're at about 460 units now, I think. When we talked a few months ago, I was at 380 units. In a bad month, we're growing by 15 units a month. In a good month, we're growing by 25. We're one of the most expensive in town. We have irresistible guarantees on our leasing. We actually guarantee that we'll rent your property out in 30 days, as long as you list the price we tell you. And if we don't, we charge you nothing. We haven't had to honor it once. I mean, we've done a study, almost like some of the insurance companies out there, like, hey, just come to Progressive and we'll show you what everybody charges, and we'll still go with us. So we've got this study that we show them, like, hey, here's all the guys that are cheaper. Here's what they're doing. Here's what we're doing. Here's their average time on the market, which you can get within our MLS system. What's your mortgage payment? Or if you don't have a mortgage, what's the loss of rent that you would have received? Because money you didn't make is kind of like money you spent. It hurts more if you spent it, but if you didn't make it, it's still revenue you lost. And we can actually show them how there's a difference between price and value. Like, you're making more money as an owner working with us. Our service is through the roof. We have better reviews than everybody.
So when you came to us, not profitable, about 600 doors, which it sounds like you had just been, you had so many doors, and not being profitable was like such a huge surprise to me. And I knew it was because you had to be really successful in another area. There was like no other way. And and then you were like, oh yeah, my real estate business is crushing it. We're awesome. And so you were able to siphon resources. But even then, having 15 staff member, 600 doors, and now you've fired 200 owners in a year.
200 owners, because when we did that, we probably lost another 150 over time.
Okay.
And our growth has offset that.
Yeah, so, and your growth outpaced that. So you're actually, you're growing. And what about profitability?
We have 4 staff members.
That's all you have right now is 4 on the
4 staff members. Our profitability monthly is just over 30. And we've got some very creative stuff we're doing with maintenance. We've got some very creative stuff that we're doing with the way that we interact with our roofing company. We're charging 10% a month, like a lot of property managers do in our market. We're charging 3/4 of the first month's rent as a leasing fee, or 2 months rent if you want us just to lease it only. And if you want a slight discount on the leasing fee, we'll manage your property. I think it's 15% a month is what we charge.
Well, so you've increased your pricing, right? You've gotten rid of the bad doors, which has lowered your operational costs significantly. You're able to reduce your staffing costs, which is probably one of the biggest expenses. Going from 15 down to 4 people, I'm sure there's some savings there.
Our reviews from the previous company were all 1 star. We sucked. Everybody hated us. We were the devil. Now I think we have one review site that my manager's pissed about, and we're a 4.7.
Wow. Okay, so your online reputation has just gone way up, which is part of the cycle of suck, getting out of that. Okay, great. So so people listening to this, if they might hear this and go, that sounds great for him. He had 600 doors to work with, you know. So what's your perspective on, because you're behind the paywall and you've gone through the whole seed package process that you're talking about. How did that impact that business? And then I think it even started a ripple effect through all of your companies, correct?
Yeah, I one time I called you my own personal McAllowitz, who was this author I read a book by after I'd met you. And then you told me you were like actually doing stuff with him. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Small world. Stuff is starting to make sense. And, you know, if people are hearing that and they're thinking that, A, you're insane. I would rather start a business small that's the right size and develop it. I mean, we launched a title company just this year. And it was funny because I launched a title company with 1 title officer. And we got up to about 80 files with the 1 title officer, and the profitability was through the roof because we launched it at the right size. And we were turning away business. You want to be in a position where you're turning away business. I would rather have a property management company with 10 units that is the right size with 1 person running it, doing all of that, than a property with 200 units, destroying your reputation. I mean, the cleanup, it wasn't $250,000. I mean, we probably spent, between the losses that we had to replace, the reputation, the rebranding, everything we had to do. I mean, I'd say it was close to $500,000 that we had to spend to fix the company. Do it right from the beginning. I mean, that seed package, which we did it backwards. I mean, you even told me when we bought the package, you're like, I really start newer people out and tell them how to do it right in the beginning. You're going to go through hell doing this. And I hope you don't hate me 6 months into the process because you suck as a property man. I think you even told me I sucked. And I was like, wow, oh, okay. I wasn't used to hearing it, but I listened and I appreciated it. If anybody's hearing that wrong and listening to that wrong, they've got the wrong psychology. Bigger is not better. Profitable is better. Anything that you can make, if you're going to flip 1 home a year and make a ton of money, that's better than flipping 50 and making none. I mean, if your ego is driving your business, ego stands for simple, it's an acronym, editing gold out. You're going to lose all your money very quickly. Right.
Okay. So, so you went through the seed package process, and then you told me you got a little sidetracked in the middle of it because you started rebranding your other companies and changing some of your other companies based on the stuff you had learned. The last time I talked to you, you had mentioned Tony Robbins to me, and how Tony Robbins had a big influence on you. And today we're going to chat a little bit about the psychology and how that's linked to success. So explain to everybody, like, how does psychology more linked to success than what people might think is linked to success?
Okay, and I'll put it this way because you taught me this too. Like when I got it refined and defined with the Tony Robbins organization, but when I bought your product, I didn't buy your strategies. I bought a feeling of certainty and comfort that I could achieve success with your strategies. Does that make sense? There were a million strategies out there. I mean, there were tons of folks. So what sold me on your product was the psychology. And that got me to make the leap. Nobody else could deliver that certainty for me in my life. And I was in a position of pain. Amazon, the largest retailer in the world without a single retail outlet, is the largest sales organization in the world right now because they asked one simple question: how do I eliminate all the pain points from my business? And when you maximize the psychology, you're asking a different question. You're like, okay, well, how do I eliminate all the pain points from my life? And you know, if you're going to look at that, there's 4 cores that people think about. And, you know, my background was psychology and economics, and I'm probably going to quote Tony Robbins or his organization 10 times here. So I don't want to like take any credit away from him. Go to his events, buy his shit. He's amazing. But there's 4 cores, and I'll just ask you a question on these 4 items because it'll be interesting to see what you say. Okay. And I want to hear your opinion on the average American, not the successful clients and customers and people who are moving up in the world that you know. But in the 4 cores that we look at, you have health, wellness, and fitness, which I know that you're into because of your Facebook. Do you think the average American right now is into their health, wellness, and fitness and feels really good about where they're at?
The average American does not feel good about where they're at, probably in most of those areas. Okay,
let's look at the second core, faith and connection with your God or universe or whatever it is you believe in. Do you think the average human is happy in their faith or connection?
No.
Okay.
Not.
Let's look at family, love, and all of that. Do you think the average human, with our divorce rates the way they are, is happy with their family, love, and all of that?
No.
Okay. Do you think the average human is happy with their money, their success, and everything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Definitely not.
So what do they focus on? They're focusing on the pain points. They're focusing on what they're unhappy on. I'm not happy with my money. I've got to find a strategy. I'm not happy with my body. I've got to find a strategy. The strategy's overcomplicated, so they don't do it. Once you get the psychology right, stuff that was, hey, I've got to find a way to do this. I should do this. I should do this. I should do this. I mean, we could should all over each other all day long. It's not going to do anything. Once it becomes a must, once we have to, because the psychology clicks in, we do it. And that's where it becomes kind of a beautiful way of meeting your needs. I mean, happiness, if you look at it as a simple formula, life condition equals blueprint. Everybody has a blueprint. Everybody knows what your life should look like. If your blueprint should look like this, your life needs to look like this in any of your 4 core areas, and it looks like this, that doesn't look alike. You know, those don't match. Progress makes you happy. When you start approaching getting like that, then all of a sudden it matches. Well, if life condition equals happiness, and you match your life to your blueprint, it's going to look the same. You're not going to be able to see one behind the other because they match. Naturally, there, you then, I guess, take advantage of the law of attraction. I almost hate quoting that because I don't believe in that cockamamie bullshit where I want money and it comes. But life will change. The world will change. Technology will change. And naturally, the world will elevate. You'll have to elevate. So there's constant growth. You're not growing. You're dying. There's probably a ton of strategies that work in everything, in property management, in business, in anything, but it's getting the right psychology and figuring out how are you going to meet your needs in your business? How are you going to drive value, not only to your customers? I mean, they're critically important because they pay you, but also to yourself. I mean, what are you getting out of the business? I mean, when I bought your product, you gave me comfort. I mean, of those 6 human needs that Tony Robbins always talks about, you got comfort or certainty, variety or uncertainty, significance, love, connection, which is technically one. Most people will go for connection because love is some scary stuff. And then growth and contribution.
Right.
I love my property management company right now because there's growth. We're learning new things, but also we're contributing. I mean, we're helping other folks. I mean, you know, you've got the connection, you've got the fun, you've got the good camaraderie, you've got the certainty that things are going to be okay, you've got the variety of all the craziness that goes on in the market. You're meeting all the needs in that business. So when a new strategy comes up, you can figure out how to get there because you're not focused on the pain points. Does that make sense? Knowing about them and focusing on them are 2 different things.
Yeah, I remember when we first spoke, we were talking and you told me about your business. And I got really excited when you told me about your business because I was like, okay, this is fixable. And he's got so much, like, it has so much potential. I got excited. I think I told you, Preston, I'm really excited about your business because it's going to be completely different in, 6 months to a year. You can change all of this. Like, you can get out of the cycle of suck. Your business can easily be profitable. You got to get rid of the, the bad doors. You can increase your pricing. Like, we can change, like, I could see the potential of where you could be because of the other clients I'd worked with. And I think that's what you're saying. You were like, okay, somebody else can see this because I don't see it right now.
Well, and it took me 2 years to do everything you told me in that company, because honestly, I got about halfway through it. Yeah. And I got so excited with your process. I literally took your process and I was like, all right, we're going through the home flipping company. We revamped all of our construction methods. All right, we're going through the real estate brokerage. I bought out partners. We revamped everything. We launched a title company. We launched the home warranty insurance company. I mean, and we just started systematizing everything. I mean, we created new kind of bonds and connections between the different divisions. We got softwares and interconnected everything to where I can literally sit at a computer right now and see everything that's going on in 7 divisions on one dashboard.
Wow.
So I've got this crazy tool that allows me to, drive from a driver's.
Those kind of things always existed. They exist, but you were able to get past the things that you were stuck on, I guess is what you're saying. And once you're past things you're stuck on and you can see your own vision, you can start creating the reality that you want. You're like, I want a dashboard that has like 8 companies or 7 companies on it, and I can see everything. Like, you can go make that happen. Yeah. Or I want a business that I don't hate and I don't want to have to be in, and I have somebody else running that piece for me, or somebody else running that piece for me. So the business then, I think what's really interesting in business is that a lot of business owners are looking for the right way, which is like this set of tactics, and they want somebody else to tell them how they should have their own business. What sort of structure should I have in my property management company? What sort of business model? What sort of team should I have? What should my org chart look like? And what's really fascinating to me is that so many people try to answer those questions, but I look at those questions as all inherently broken. And then the inherent brokenness of those questions is that they're the entrepreneur, they're the business owner, and they're asking me something that I just want to say, well, what do you want? What do you want to be doing in the business and not be doing? That's going to tell you what your org chart should look like. What do you love doing in the company? What fulfills you and like brings you joy and is in alignment with your values, and what isn't? What makes you feel alive and what drains you and kills you? And every business owner is so different. Like, no, your business, I can't just step into your business and would feel in love with what you're spending your time doing. Likewise, you probably wouldn't feel in love with the stuff I spend my time doing in my business, because you've built your business now around you, and my business is built around me. And that's why we have a team. That's why we want to make sure as entrepreneurs we're well supported. And really, I think that's the inherent disconnect. And I think that goes back to what you're saying with psychology. If we really understand the mindset side of things, and we really understand at our core who we are and how we meet our needs. I've got those, I wrote on my board this morning: certainty, variety, significance, connection, love, growth, contribution. And when things are really fulfilling us in the business, or when they're not, like when we're in pain, that's because something is not. There's conflict there between who we really are and what we're doing.
And when you take those 4 needs, Jason, and or those 6 needs, and you match them to your 4 cores, which is your spirituality, your physical fitness, I mean, your family and love, and your money and wealth, you create a natural alignment. And when you get that alignment, it's, everybody focuses on money. And it's funny because all the people that don't focus on money are the ones that have all of it. They're focusing on giving it away. They're all philanthropists. Mm-hmm. You either have 1 of 2 money problems: not enough money or too much money. And the people with too much money are giving it away. That's what they spend their time doing. And everybody's like, well, how do I get there? Align your 4 cores. If you align your 4 cores and have a terrible strategy, you're going to be way better than the guy that doesn't align his 4 cores with a brilliant strategy, because he's going to keep tripping over himself. And, people don't understand that in this day and age. I mean, everybody's looking for the get rich quicks or that type of system. I mean, it's not that. I mean, you want to know the answers to those questions that everybody's asking you in the best way I heard it from a coach I had once. You want to have the best business in the world? Deliver more value than any competitor you have. That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's the only answer. You can't get into the freaking line on every single different business, because the way you do that might be different than the way I do that in our industry, in our life cycle of our businesses, based on the personalities we have. You can't You can't like actually go and say, hey, do all these things. Align your 4 cores and find a way to deliver value, A, to you. Because if you're not taking care of you, you're not going to align your 4 cores. You're screwing yourself from the start. And if you're not delivering value to you, you can't really care about your customer the way you should and the way that they deserve to be honored, because you're not whole here. Mm-hmm. A lot of people get in business because they want to make a huge amount of money. And yes, that comes with it. That's a huge part of it, and it's wonderful. But business is not all about making a huge amount of money, even though that's one of the side effects. Business is about serving, and charity starts at home. Serve yourself, align your 4 cores, use that journey in your business to just become a better human. When you become a better human, meeting your own needs, whatever they are, I mean, it's fine. When you're meeting your own needs, then all of a sudden you can care about your customer. When you care about your customer, then you're going to deliver more value. And when I say deliver more value, I don't mean miles worth of more value, which a lot of young businesses do. Like baby businesses are like, well, my competitor's doing X, so I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Stop. Mm-hmm. Do X plus a little bit. Michael Phelps wins the Olympics every year by 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters, that's it. If you do X plus a little bit, and then you have the cutting edge and great, I don't want to call it marketing because it's kind of a bad word these days, but if you have a great lead capture system, I mean, marketing can either be a tax on the stupid if you're doing it wrong, like blanket marketing is a tax on the stupid. But if you do a little bit of marketing that is very targeted, that speaks to people, complements with your reviews and this and that and the other, it can add value, okay? And a lot of that might be sweat equity. It might be like networking. We get more marketing out of our networking, frankly, which is time, than we do out of our ad spend marketing, which and we're growing by 15 to 25 doors a month. I mean, almost every business day, we're signing up a new door. Awesome. Your system is one of the best systems that I've ever seen for any business. I'm sure one day you're going to probably tool it to where it goes to more than property management. I'm really excited about that day. But yeah, man,
it may happen. It's been discussed. It's really tempting for us as entrepreneurs to start going off into other channels. So I've had to really keep focused because it's tempting.
It must be
really tempting. So, and it's interesting you mentioned the 4 cores. So I've heard them phrased as, with all letter Fs, like faith, family, fitness, and finances, which is one way. I've also heard it as body, being, balance, and business. And but it's the same 4 things. And those 4 things, from my experience, and when I work with coaching clients and I talk about those things with them, I tell them that your body is a direct reflection of your business. And a lot of them don't like to hear that, like, oh, what, if they're out of shape, and they'll say, well, my business is really healthy. And I'll say, well, how much healthier could you be, or could your business be, if you were like physically able to be present and you were on point and your brain was sharp and you were healthy, right? So, and like right now I have a personal trainer who's working me out like crazy and telling me what to eat. So I have a coach just on the physical side. I'm in a course and working with a coach on like the relationship stuff, because I feel like that's like critical in life and I can level up there. I have a profit first coach and accountant. I have a business coach who's awesome. And so I have coaches in all of these areas, but originally I couldn't have a coach in all these areas because of where I was at. I was struggling. And whichever area of those 4 is the most difficult for somebody right now, that's what I say to those that are listening. That's what you need to focus on. And it's usually for entrepreneurs, it's not the business. Usually what's holding you back in business is your marriage, some sort of misalignment there or struggle, or it's maybe your fitness. You're just not on point. You're working too hard. You're not able to be present. So the 90% of your effort is like really just like meaningless. And you're not even really conscious as to what work you're doing, and you're reacting through your whole day. And so whichever of those areas you feel like is your biggest sore spot, whether it's your physical health, your emotional relationship, or your mental, logical, like things that you're working on, or, whichever of the 4 major key areas is kind of your weakest, go all in on that, focus on that, and you'll see every other area expand. Every other area is connected. And so your marriage is a direct reflection of your business, your spirituality and your connection to your purpose and your inner self, and whatever that looks like, being or faith or religion or whatever you want to call it. That spiritual side is a direct connection to how you show up powerfully in your business or in your marriage. So they're all interconnected, and you can't level up one without taking the others up. And when you change, like you were saying, everything else has to change around you. Like it has to.
One of the best things that I ever learned, I mean, everything you're saying is so true. And you can go super simple on a human and say, okay, well, what's your identity? Well, for most of us business people, as entrepreneurs who are focused, driven, focused, we build our entire identity as a part of this business, our baby, this thing that we're creating, okay? Well, what's your identity in each of the four cores is a really interesting question, because there's certain beliefs, there's certain values, there's certain global rules, there's certain things that you perceive and believe. And I think it's NAB is the acronym. Remember it however you want, but it's notice, appreciate, believe. Your identity in your marriage, if your identity in your marriage is, you know what, golly, man, my wife is always nagging me and I really hate going home and this, that, and the other. Maybe you need to notice something else, appreciate something else, and build some beliefs. Is she really doing that to hurt you, or is she doing that to meet her own needs? And if she's doing that to meet her own needs, are you not meeting her needs? And if you're not meeting her needs, what can you do to meet her needs? Because I guarantee you, you might spend 10 minutes meeting her needs and save yourself 20 hours of nagging. Like that's literally the ratio. And I'm using that as one example, but you could use that in all four cores. What's the identity that you have in each of the four cores? Because those identities that we develop here is who we become. And the key to life, I mean, we're here for a short time. It's who do you want to become? How do you want to become a better human? I mean, I think I love what you do because you help so many people. And it's been really cool, like kind of on the sideline, watching your journey, A, as one of your customers, and B, as one of your fans, because I've seen you go from, I mean, you had a relatively small organization by comparison to the organization you have now when we first met. And your growth has been just astronomical. It has been really cool to see you just delivering to all these people. And I think people are coming out of the woodwork to hear you because you're actually helping. You're actually delivering value, but you're meeting your four cores. If a person wants to start by meeting their four cores in a very simple way, I'll give you a tactic. It's something somebody taught me, and it's super easy. 1 hour in the morning, you need to take a 15-minute walk at a high rate of speed. We're biochemical organisms. I mean, we have biology. That's our body. It's our meat suit, okay? You need to hit your mind, body, spirit. I don't know what you believe, but in the book I read, it says God made me in his image. Doesn't mean he looks exactly like me. It means mind, body, spirit, which I kind of equate to Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I need to program my mind, program my body, program my spirit. If you do something for the body in the morning, a 15-minute walk is actually going to trigger your metabolism to turn on as if you were 20 years old. If you had the body now that you had when you were 20, would you be happier? That's a question I would ask most people, and 90% of people say yes. Yeah, sure. Some people say no, but I hang out in circles where a lot of people are in shape. That 15-minute walk is going to, as a biochemical organism, release those endorphins, kick on your metabolism, do all sorts of things, start firing different neural pathways. Do some chanting while you walk. I know it sounds nerdy, it sounds dorky. A lot of people are going to be like, I'm tuning out, this guy's hippie crazy. But you know, if you're walking and you're literally saying like every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger, and you're like chanting to yourself, you're telling you this, you're programming your central nervous system. Your central nervous system is nothing more, and this is science, than energy levels that rest at idle in your brain idles at an energy level of, I think it's 70 to 90 megahertz. Your organs are about 60 to 70 megahertz. There's an electrical impulse that goes from your brain to your arm if you're going to lift your arm. You start programming your central nervous system, and language is the way we do that. And you put yourself in a beautiful state. And I'm totally quoting Tony Robbins here, but this stuff is true. And I started doing this hour every morning. And I'm telling you, you create attraction. Like you just start attracting everything you want. If you do 15 minutes of walking, I generally do about 30 minutes of reading something empowering or listening to something empowering. There's thousands of motivational videos on YouTube. If you don't have a great book or an Audible account or something like that to program the mind, you have to stimulate the thinking machine and build it. If you're not growing, you're dying. Everything in life is in a cycle of growth or death. Mm-hmm. If you're not programming the thinking machine and the meat suit, then the body's starting to die and the mind's starting to die. Anything that's on its way down is not going to excel anywhere, and that's including your business. And then the spirit is our emotional energy. Here's something really cool that nobody's ever going to tell you, okay? And this is actually mine. I'm not quoting Tony Robbins, thank God, yes. There's only 3 emotions that exist. There's thousands of feelings, okay? I mean, you could say, oh, well, anger is an emotion. This guy's full of shit. No, it's not. Anger is a feeling. You cannot feel angry thinking about puppies unless you are biochemically really abnormal, okay? Right. There's 3 feelings. 1, we're humans, we're animals, we need to procreate, technically sex drive. But for the purpose of business, there's a positive emotion and a negative emotion. The positive emotion has super high megahertz levels, and when you are in a beautiful state, a powerful state, and that's like these YouTube videos, motivational videos, good music, chanting, you're programming that neuroassociation into your central nervous system. The walking, the chanting, reading a book, maybe some breathing exercises, gratitude exercises, or some motivational videos on YouTube. You do that stuff for an hour every day, you will change your whole life. That positive emotion, I don't remember the exact megahertz level. They did like studies on it at MIT and Harvard, and it's amazing. But you're sending huge energy waves throughout your entire body, and you're going to be in a beautiful state. You can't change anything from a bad state. You ever notice depressed people, shoulders forward, head down, eyes down, kind of, they're in the same pose that they normally are right before they flush, right? Their state's probably shit. Whereas people that are moving forward in life, shoulders back, head up, eyes up, moving, speaking loud, talking, I mean, they have a better pace, they have a better energy, and you can see it, you can feel it, and you can tell that there's somebody that's making moves in life. Well, do that hour in the morning, and it'll help you get to your 4 cores. Everybody wants the secret of success, and here's the secret. You cannot revolutionize, you have to evolutionize. You have to take 1 baby step every day. And if you take 1 baby step every day, if you give yourself 1 hour a day, your business will be 1,000 times better in 1 year. If you give you 1 hour every day, and for the people out there that are like, I don't have an hour a day, wake up an hour earlier. Like, it's worth it. If you don't have an hour a day, you're already dead, dig a hole. Find an hour. When you give you 1 hour a day, you're going to evolutionize, not revolutionize, which means you'll be able to handle it, your 4 cores. And you're going to evolutionize that identity, that neural association to who you are, not based on the you today, but on the who you want to be. And it's going to gradually get there. And your business is going to get there. I mean, it's really cool when you, a couple years ago, I showed up to my parents' house and I took them a check and paid their house off. Last week, and I should have worn it today, I'm sorry I didn't, I bought myself a $20,000 Rolex just because I've always wanted one. And finally I got off my, in Spanish we call it cojo, which means cheap. I couldn't see buying a watch for the price of a damn house. But these are fun, stupid things that people don't get to do. And you know why they don't get to do it? It's they never realize. People want that when they don't try to figure out how to become the real them. Yeah. When you become the real you, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I waited over a year before I bought it because it was just, I didn't care that much. It wasn't that I couldn't afford it. The money was there. I just had other shit that was more fun to do than driving over to Deutsch & Deutsch to buy a damn watch. Does that make sense? When you find the real you find this blessing, you find this like purpose, and you start delivering value in the way that God or the universe or whatever made you to do. And that's where life gets beautiful and fun. So yeah, man, I mean, 80% psychology, 20% strategy. That is all of life. Do that hour every day and watch what happens to you in a week. I mean, I'm not telling you this because you already know this, Jason, but I'm sure there's some people hearing it and they're thinking, oh, another rich guy. Screw that guy. He's lucky. Yes, I'm lucky. I'm gorgeous. I've got a hot wife, a bunch of paid off sports cars, stupid watches, tons of houses, investment property. But I was a broke kid, piss poor, in a trailer park 10 years ago with 20 grand in college debt. And now I've got $1 million bank account a couple times over. So I'm not the rich asshole. I'm the guy that figured out some of, and I don't even think I'm anywhere near where I want to be, but some of my 4 cores. I'm still growing. I mean, I want to go national. And I know that's what you're doing too. And I'm privileged to be on this line with you because I think you're way ahead of me in that route. But bro, everything you're doing is amazing.
Preston, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing all this with me. I've noticed when it comes to morning routine, the same thing, that if I'm investing that time early in the day, getting up before kids want my attention, spouse wants my attention, business wants my attention, my team wants my attention, and I have those quiet moments to invest in myself, it's an absolute game changer. And everybody should be doing that. But a lot of people get up, they start looking at their phone, and they immediately let the day take over their life. And I think what you're kind of touching on is a lot of people are in each of those 4 areas. They're reacting. They're putting out fires. They've got a fire in their with their family, or the kid, or the teenager, or their marriage, or they've got a fire in the business they're working on putting out. And then they've got a crisis of faith, and they've got some sort of spiritual problem they're dealing with, or then they feel like they've lost their purpose, or their body is breaking down. And I was there, man. I remember sitting at my desk trying to finish a sales call. And by the end of the sales call, I was laying on the floor because I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was working way too many hours. And I thought that's what I needed to do to get ahead, was just focus on the business. And I know from experience that just focusing on business is the worst way to grow and expand your business, when you're neglecting 3 significant core areas of your life. And so I was doing that. And I realized in that moment, I lost my ability to be effective in all of them. I couldn't even do business anymore. I was in so much pain. My back was out. My hip pelvic bones had gotten rotated because my muscles were so weak. Like I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. I was laying on the floor for like 2 weeks. I was sleeping on it was ridiculous. And I was like, all right. I then recognized, and the universe had to like give me this, or God or whatever had to give me this really strong experiential experience to realize this. But I was like, my physical health is directly connected to my ability to make money, without question. If I let that go, I can't do it. Steve Jobs at the end of his life probably would have paid anything to have more health. And lots of entrepreneurs are probably that way, but you can't just buy it. You can't just throw money at somebody and then magically you have health, right? And so I was like, okay, I have to have health. And then it doesn't even matter. Like if things are stressful in my marriage or with my kids, like nothing else seems to matter, because that is like takes over everything, and it's all consuming emotionally. And so, and then
here's the thing, man. I mean, you're hitting such a beautiful point, and I love it. People get messed up focusing on that stuff, and that's the key to state. I mean, we talked about like long-term happiness as life condition equals blueprint. When your life condition, your blueprint align, you're aligned and you naturally grow. Well, you're not going to get there without state. All of those things you talked about, which are major things and they're critical and they're crises, they're distractions. And you're going to get those if you have something in common with you and me, and that you're a human. If you're a human, stuff's going to go wrong in your marriage. Stuff's going to go wrong in your business. You're going to get an asshole customer. You know what? You might mess up. You might have a faith crisis. Life hits everyone. If you think that the only advantage that is going to get you there is to have your life be perfect, you've got this beautiful delusion and you need to share what you're smoking because it sounds really good. And that's probably only going to work for the property management companies in Colorado, guys. Anyway, you got to get in state. You got to manage that mind, that body, that spirit. I mean, your focus, I was doing a leadership training a while back, and it was really funny because the leadership training focused on like literally 2 things. If you want to be a leader, you owe this, not only to you, but to everybody that you're committed to serving, because a leader is a servant. You owe that you maintain your state all the time. You can't bring your bullshit into your business. You can't bring your bullshit into your marriage. I don't bring my business home with me if at all possible. I mean, I'm sure I screw up sometimes. I'm not perfect. My wife actually now works with me at the company, so of course we have funny conversations about it sometimes. But we try not to bring the negativity. And stuff's gonna go wrong. I mean, right now there's 500 different families, probably more now, that eat every day in El Paso, Texas, because of one of my companies. And I guarantee you, that means at any point, every single day of the week, there's somebody epically fucking something up at all times. If I find those things and focus on them, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I got to look at the 499 that are not screwing something up, have a little faith, have a little connection, keep myself in state, that mind, body, spirit, that, how does Tony Robbins put it? He puts it physiology, focus, and language and meaning, which is an interesting thing when you go into psychology. Did you know that the English language has more words than any other language on earth? And we have 3,000 words to describe emotions, and the average person only uses 12. And your brain is a brilliant computer. Most of the time, say you're driving and somebody cuts you off. A lot of people say, oh, that pisses me off. What's pissed off mean? I mean, if I'm gonna get pissed off, I'm generally at a bar and I'm gonna punch somebody. Pissed off means like your adrenaline's on high, you're gonna be the most certain person in the room, you're gonna make yourself significant, right? Am I really pissed off that a guy cut me off, or am I annoyed? Was it irritating? Am I peeved?
Right.
Whatever language you use to tell yourself how you're experiencing something, your brain's not dumb. If you have a bad day and you say, oh man, that was rough, you know, I'm a little anxious about that, you're probably being real. But if you say, I'm depressed, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to sleep in an extra 3 hours the next day. You're not going to want to go into the office, and your brain's going to start helping you have all the feelings that come with depression. Does that make sense? So, you know, people focus on all these ancillary pain points that are associated with their four cores. I mean, we have our four cores, and you're going to have pain points. That's because you're human. That makes you equal to everybody else in the world. And I know why you asked it, and I really appreciate it, because I'm ADD or a DTD, so I get off topic all the time. And so you're like asking the right questions to keep me on. Thank you. You know, people can't look at that stuff. You have to like go and say, all right, well, what's my mission? What's my purpose? What am I delivering? What's my value? In leadership, you maintain your state first, foremost, and you never stop. If you're going through a divorce, that's outside of the office. When you come inside of the office, you're there to serve. You deliver value. The second thing you do is master rapport. Master rapport with your people, your team, your customers. Because you can't deliver value, you can't get that connection with another human. And so state is number one. Rapport is number two. I mean, you can look at all the good examples in history, all the bad examples in history. Gandhi had an amazing state and an ability to deliver rapport, and the sun finally set on the British Empire, didn't it? Hitler had an amazing state, an amazing ability to develop rapport. How many millions died?
Yeah.
These two secrets, state and rapport, are some of the most critical things for leaders. But if you're in a beautiful state, you're doing that hour in the morning, you're managing your trifecta, your mind, your body, your spirit. I mean, you're doing those things and you're keeping yourself psychologically tuned, because that's 80% of the fight. All of your problems are generally going to be strategy problems. You know what? If your marriage is going wrong, and this is going to suck, and I'm sorry if I'm telling people this, you're probably right where you deserve to be in life. You probably weren't perfect either. I'm sure that she's wrong as well, because normally fire and gasoline make bigger flames.
Yeah, sure.
If you're having problems in your business, you're probably right where you deserve to be. Wherever you're having problems, those are strategy problems. You can't fix strategy problems with the same level of maturity that got you into it. You have to upgrade your psychology, upgrade you, and all of a sudden you can outpace the strategy problems, because you're going to become a better human, which is going to give you access to better strategy, access to better I mean, the main thing is the psychology, but the psychology, good psychology is going to help you recognize the right strategy. I mean, you look at all the most successful people in the world, they're not trying to figure out how to make money. They're trying to figure out how to better the entire world. The money just comes. I mean, the love just comes. It's
Yeah, because they're focused on contribution. Contribution is what creates value, this desire to contribute. And if you lose connection, you're like, how do I create more value? And how do I just think, what do they want? And how can you help them? So to bring this full circle and to I guess, bring this home, I think what you're saying is what would be really effective is make sure, at some point in your day, especially early in the day, when you're present, when you still have willpower, to start focusing on those 4 key areas of your life. And my experience is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so if you're dealing with fires all day long in all of these areas or in some major areas, start doing little deposits in the morning, investing in yourself to level up in those areas. Learn about relationships, learn about sales, learn about marketing, learn about business, learn about whatever it is that you need to be learning about. If you are struggling in property management, get the seed package and invest those hours watching the videos and learning and going through our program. But do something to invest.
If you're struggling with any business, buy the seed package. That is fire. It is beautiful. I don't care if you're struggling with property management or if your friend in property management sent you this damn video and you sell lollipops. Buy the fucking seed package. It has revolutionized 7 of my companies. Jason needs to focus on property management because he got him really uber successful. Even if you're not in property management, I mean, share this with a struggling friend.
All right, maybe we'll need to release the seed package for all small businesses or service-based businesses. We'll see. But yeah, if you're investing daily into those 4 major bank accounts, you're not going to get to the point where you're bankrupt. Because if you're not, you're going to end up bankrupt in one of them. I was bankrupt in the body area, laying on the floor, calling for my wife to help me. And then nobody could really do anything about it. I had to just heal. And so, but now that I'm investing daily into my health, I'm investing daily into my relationships, I'm investing in my business, I'm constantly investing and feeding in. I get coaches, you get books, you get whatever you need to do to invest in those areas where you're weak. If you're investing, those bank accounts will be healthy and your financial bank account will become more healthy. It's just going to happen. And so your bank account is a representation of your level of contribution. So it says, Preston, you have a high level of contribution. You're making big changes and affecting a lot of lives and families down where you're at. And I honor you for that, because that's a big deal. A lot of people look at a business owner, an entrepreneur, and they show us on these TV shows, where some entrepreneur did something shady and they're like, look at it, he had these many cars and he had this plane and he had, really the great entrepreneurs and the good entrepreneurs, they also have lots of trappings and systems and people and systems and businesses and things around them. And it just shows their level of contribution that they're able to have, their level of impact. And so my hope is that everybody listening to this is able to increase their level of contribution, increase their level of value that they're offering to others, and to start investing in themselves so that they can start leveling up in business and in life. So, Preston, any last words you want to say before we wrap this up to people watching?
You hit beautifully on contribution, but I want to re-hit those 6 human needs for everybody, because
let's do it.
When you make a decision to succeed, and it goes from a should to a must, and it just becomes a driving force in your life, and you have to do it. You're going to do it for one of 2 reasons. You're going to do it because you're either inspired, or you're going to do it because you're desperate. And let me tell you something. I bought the seed package when I was desperate. I literally had a cratering, terrible situation, and I had no idea what to do. I was desperate. When you do anything from inspiration, I've made other decisions from inspiration, the results, the rewards are beautiful, and it's all about meeting the needs. When you start meeting the needs, you see what's going to meet the needs. You can inspire yourself doing that hour, but the needs are certainty or comfort. You probably eat the food you eat every day because it comforts you or makes you certain or whatever. Uncertainty, and here's how funny God is. The way he made us, certainty and uncertainty are kind of exact opposites, aren't they? So those conflict a little bit. Uncertainty, or also could be called variety. Are you getting the variety you need? Are you getting the unique situations? Is your job mundane? Is your business boring? Or are you, inspired by what's going on that keeps you driving forward. Connection and love. And the last one, significance. And connection and love and significance also compete with one another. They butt heads. If you need to be significant all the time, you're not going to have that connection and love with your wife or your team or your customers. If you need to be loved all the time and you make everybody else more significant, you're going to break it too. I mean, you have to find a way to balance these. The way to do so is one, contribution, because those are the primal needs. Those 4 are primal needs. And 2 is growth. And if you read the good book, the same book I read, I'm not trying to preach to anybody here, but it says, read my word and feed my sheep. Those are kind of 2 main points. Read my word, feed my sheep. Learn more and grow and help people. And if you're contributing, the moment you help another human, you can immediately be certain and comforted that you're doing something good. I mean, you feel that in your soul. If you're biochemically normal, that helps you. You're establishing variety and uncertainty because, man, you never know how they're going to react, but you're going to get some excitement and thrill out of the variety because you don't know how they're going to take it. They could laugh about it or they could like cry and hug you. I mean, you never know what you're going to do. You're definitely connected to them, maybe even loved, and you're certainly the most significant person in their life. That's contribution. When you're growing, you're certain and comforted that you're getting better. You are absolutely getting variety because you just learned something new. You're definitely significant because it's going to help you become a better you, and that's the first person you need to worry about. And you're definitely going to get love and connection because that growth is going to propel you forward. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And anytime you're propelled forward, you're learning. So you've got those 4 primal needs and those 2 divine needs. All the people watching this and all the people that plug into this are probably very, very interested in jumping into that growth and that contribution. They're probably, I mean, if you're not having success, you're probably stuck in one of the primal 4. You meet all 4 by hitting the divine 2. But if you're stuck in one of the primal 4, you're never going to hit the divine 2 until all of a sudden you become desperate. If you can become inspired rather than desperate, you can make a decision rather than the world dictating to you. And when the world dictates, you're still going to make the decision. It's just going to take longer, and there's going to be an epic amount of pain associated. So find a way to hit the inspiration point rather than the desperation point. And that's, I mean, I'd love to close on that, bro.
I love it. Love it. Preston, thanks for coming out and sharing with us. How can people get a hold of you or connect with you?
Email me. I've got an email I've used forever. It's Preston, Preston, and then the word realtor @gmail.com. You can call my office, email me. I respond. I'm very responsive. I mean, please don't call after 9.
Cool, Preston. I appreciate you coming out, hanging out with me here on the DoorGrow show, and excited to see what you continue doing.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to doing more with you, brother. Thanks for having me.
All right, great. And if you're now just tuning in or you're catching the tail end of the show, make sure you join our DoorGrow Club Facebook group. That's where you can kind of get a feel for what DoorGrow is all about. You can connect with other DoorGrow hackers, other people that are running property management businesses just like you. The group is free. We do make people apply. It's only for property management business owners to get in, but you can get to that by going to doorgrowclub.com. It will redirect to the Facebook group. And so make sure you get in there. And then if you are interested in learning and hearing more about the seed package, just go to doorgrow.com/seed-package, or just go to doorgrow.com and just hit us up on the chat and let us know you're interested, and we'll get you case studies. We'll get you testimonials, including Preston Brown and other clients that we've worked with. And we want believers and action takers. Those are the people that we can help through this process. So if you're struggling with growth, you're wanting to grow your property management business, we have a system and a process that we will help guide you through and take you through, that we will basically rehab your business and help you figure everything out. So, so check that out. And then make sure you get your tickets to our upcoming conference, which is DoorGrow Live. You can check that out at doorgrowlive.com. And we're doing the conference this year in St. Louis. It is during the same week as NARPM Leadership. So it's back-to-back at the same venue. in St. Louis, which is a really cool venue. And if you're looking for more connection in the industry, you're looking for relating and creating relationships with other business owners like you, some that have dealt with things that you've dealt with, some that you can help with problems that you've dealt with, this is the place to be. This is where the DoorGrow Club like connects with real life, and you get to make some relationships that may last a lifetime. And we're going to be sharing ideas and tactics and strategies, and maybe even revealing some new offerings there at DoorGrow Live. So I hope you get your tickets to DoorGrow Live. We're starting small this year, and I'm sure it'll be much bigger this next year. So make sure you get a seat while they still are available. And then for those of you that are property management business owners that have gotten beyond the challenge of growth, you're beyond kind of the seed package sort of challenge. Our next level is the DoorGrow Masters, the DoorGrow and Scale Mastermind. So if you are a DoorGrow Master or want to be a DoorGrow Master, make sure to reach out. And I would love to have a conversation with you and see if you're a fit for that group. This is for property management business owners that really want to align the business with their personal why, get clear on what their values are, what they want their business to look like, and then make the business align around them to create the business that you love, that supports you, and how to properly build that team that supports you as an entrepreneur. So would love to have a conversation with you about that group. So anyway, reach out to us, check us out at doorgrow.com, and I appreciate everybody tuning the show. Make sure to like us, listen to us, and subscribe and all this stuff on iTunes and on our YouTube channel and everywhere else that you see us. We appreciate it. And we, through you, are going to be able to transform the property management industry. So bye, everybody. Talk to you guys soon.